The most profitable product some of the world's biggest companies sell isn't food, flights, hotel rooms, or coffee. It's points. That matters because billions of people spend money every week chasing rewards they barely understand. The question is, how did tiny digital points become one of the most valuable businesses on earth? Every time you scan a loyalty card, enter a member number, or collect points from a purchase, it feels like you're getting something extra. A bonus, a reward, a small thank you for coming back. But that story hides something much bigger. Because loyalty programs were never really designed to reward loyalty, they were designed to measure it, predict it, and eventually sell it. Most people think loyalty programs exist because companies want customers to feel appreciated. The reality is far stranger. Imagine a supermarket with two customers. Both spend exactly the same amount of money every year. One walks in, buys groceries, and leaves. The other scans a loyalty card every visit. To the supermarket, these two customers are not equally valuable. One is revenue, the other is data. And in the modern economy, data can be worth more than the sale itself. This wasn't always obvious. In the late 20th century, airlines faced a strange problem. Flying had become increasingly competitive. Seats were difficult to differentiate. One flight looked a lot like another, so airlines started experimenting with frequent flyer programs. At first, the idea seemed simple: fly more, earn points, get rewards. But something unexpected happened. Passengers began choosing airlines based on points rather than ticket prices. The reward system was changing behavior. A traveler might pay slightly more just to stay within the same program. A business traveler might route flights through inconvenient airports just to earn status. Suddenly, points weren't just rewarding purchases, they were directing them. The airline wasn't merely transporting passengers anymore, it was shaping decisions, and that insight would spread everywhere. Hotels copied it, retailers copied it, coffee chains copied it, credit card companies turned it into an art form. But the biggest transformation came when businesses discovered something surprising about human psychology. People value progress, sometimes more than rewards themselves. Researchers have repeatedly found that humans become more motivated when they feel closer to a goal. A coffee shop stamp card demonstrates this perfectly. Imagine one card requires 10 purchases before a free drink. Another requires 12 purchases, but arrives with 2 stamps already completed. Mathematically, they're almost identical. Psychologically, they feel completely different. The second card feels like progress. It feels like momentum. It feels like a journey already underway, and people are far more likely to finish journeys they've already started. This tiny psychological quirk became a goldmine. Companies realized they didn't need to give away large rewards. They simply needed customers to feel like rewards were approaching. The anticipation itself became valuable. But loyalty programs were about to evolve again, and this next step changed everything. Most people think airline points come from flying. In reality, many points come from something else entirely. Credit cards. Banks buy enormous quantities of airline miles from airlines. Then they distribute those miles to cardholders as rewards. The arrangement sounds simple, yet it created one of the most profitable business models ever invented. The airline gets paid immediately when miles are sold to banks. The bank attracts customers who spend more to earn rewards. The customer feels rewarded. Everyone appears to win. But look closer. The actual product being traded is not transportation, it's future promises. Millions of people are earning points that may eventually become flights. The airline receives money long before many of those flights ever occur. Some points expire, some are forgotten, some are never redeemed. And that creates a fascinating economic phenomenon. Companies call it breakage. Breakage occurs when rewards are earned but never used. From a business perspective, those unused points can be incredibly profitable. Imagine selling gift certificates where a percentage are never redeemed. Imagine printing coupons that customers forget to use. Imagine creating a reward system where part of the reward quietly disappears. Now imagine that happening across millions of customers. The numbers become enormous. This is one reason loyalty programs can generate extraordinary profits even when rewards seem generous. But breakage isn't the most valuable asset. The most valuable asset is information. Consider what a modern loyalty program knows. It can identify what customers buy, when they buy, how frequently they buy, which products are purchased together, how price sensitive they are, how often they switch brands, whether promotions influence behavior, whether they shop more on weekends, whether they spend more after payday. The loyalty program becomes a giant behavioral map, and behavioral maps are extremely valuable. A retailer can use this information to personalize offers. A manufacturer can use it to understand demand. A marketer can use it to predict future purchases. The points program quietly becomes a data collection system, hiding inside a reward system. And most customers never think about it that way. One of the most interesting examples comes from grocery stores. Many shoppers believe discounts are simply discounts. Yet increasingly, the lower advertised price requires membership. Scan the card and receive the deal. Don't scan it and pay more. This changes the transaction. The discount is no longer just a price reduction. It's an exchange. The customer receives savings. The business receives information. Both sides get something valuable, but only one side fully understands the value of what was exchanged. This is where loyalty programs begin to resemble a different industry entirely: insurance. Insurance companies obsess over prediction. The better they predict behavior, the better they price risk. Modern loyalty programs pursue a similar goal. The better they understand behavior, the better they influence future purchases. What looks like a reward system becomes a prediction machine, and prediction machines are powerful. A company that knows what customers are likely to buy next gains an enormous advantage over competitors that don't. This leads to a strange question. What if the rewards aren't the real product? What if customers are? That sounds dramatic, but consider how some loyalty programs are valued. In several cases, the loyalty division became so valuable that analysts argued it was worth more than major parts of the core business itself. Think about that. Yeah, a system originally designed to hand out rewards evolved into an asset worth billions. Not because of free products, because of customer behavior, because of data, because of prediction, because of influence, and because businesses discovered that understanding habits can be more valuable than selling products. History offers an interesting parallel. Centuries ago, merchants fought for access to trade routes. Control the route, and goods followed. Control the information about customers, and purchases follow. The modern economy increasingly rewards whoever understands the flow of decisions. Loyalty programs sit directly in that flow. Yet there's another twist: status. Many reward systems don't just offer discounts. They offer tiers. Silver, gold, platinum, diamond. At first glance, these look like upgraded benefits, but they also serve another purpose: identity. Humans naturally care about social signals. A colored card, a priority lane, a special badge, a higher status level. These features cost companies relatively little compared with the emotional value customers attach to them. A traveler might take extra flights to maintain elite status. A shopper might consolidate purchases into one retailer to preserve membership perks. The reward is no longer a free product. The reward is belonging. And belonging is extraordinarily powerful. This is why some customers defend brands almost like sports teams. The loyalty program helped transform a transaction into a relationship. Not always a deep relationship, but often enough to influence behavior. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. The loyalty economy spans airlines, supermarkets, hotels, pharmacies, fuel stations, retailers, gaming companies, restaurants, and financial institutions. Trillions of points move through these systems. Billions of transactions generate behavioral information. Entire business strategies are built around retaining customers rather than finding new ones. Because acquiring a new customer is expensive, keeping an existing one is usually cheaper, and loyalty programs sit at the center of that equation. But perhaps the most surprising part is how invisible all of this feels. Most people see points as a small bonus, a pleasant extra, something collected without much thought. Yet behind that simple experience exists an enormous network of psychology, economics, prediction, and incentives. The points are visible. The system behind them is not. And once you notice that system, ordinary purchases start looking different. That coffee reward isn't just encouraging another coffee purchase, it's measuring habits. That airline status tier isn't just offering perks, it's influencing decisions. That supermarket discount isn't simply reducing a price, it's creating an exchange of information. The reward was never the whole story. The reward was the invitation. The real business was understanding what happened after you accepted it. And that brings us back to the question from the beginning. How did tiny digital points become one of the most valuable businesses on earth? Because they were never really points. They were a way of turning human behavior into something companies could measure, predict, and profit from. The most profitable product some of the world's biggest companies sell isn't food, flights, hotel rooms, or coffee. It's still points. Only now you know what those points are actually buying.